Hello.
Yeah, I was reading that your background is chemistry.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And then you might wonder what actually does a chemistry person have to do with online or learning or training and so on.
Hello.
That's fine. I'm also from the science background. I'm here.
Yeah. And
Uh,
uh, and yeah, as you probably also know, I'm quite familiar and highly affiliated with Tyagi, who
okay.
also was a physics teacher in his early days.
Yeah.
So what is your background?
My background is biotechnology.
Mhm, mhm. Very good. Mhm. So
So
I'm don't wanna,
we are familiar with a lot of chemistry because of biochemistry.
yes, yes. Chemistry, the physics of electrons.
Yeah, absolutely required to understand biology.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is also what I tell my son, right? And he's already believing me. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt the sharp start. Mm.
Rupali ma'am?
Yes, sir. Shall I start?
Yes, please.
So, hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to one and all. Welcome you all to the 58th webinar of the series Pratiti-2024, Becoming Aware, a series organized by Center of Excellence in Gaming and Simulation at Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, India. Today we are Today we have a renowned speaker in the field of gaming and simulation, Dr. Alexander Schiller, consultant, trainer, facilitator, and coach, Jena, Germany. Topic of today's webinar is generative AI boost interactive learning. So, to begin the program, first of all, I would like to invite Director of Sri Vaishnav Institute of Science, Dr. K.N. Guru Prasad, for the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rupali madam. Uh, on behalf of the university, I welcome Dr. Alexander Schiller. Uh, he is now in the simulation and gaming field, but his background is in inorganic chemistry, as I understand, and he has taught inorganic chemistry in the universities. And I believe he has also designed many games and simulations related to chemistry uh, for the benefit of learning. Today, he's speaking on influence of Chat GPT on the interactive learning. As we can see that AI is influencing the academics in many ways because AI is helping the students directly to get the answers to some of their queries and to integrate AI to enhance some instructional designs and other things in which Dr. Schiller is an expert. We may come to know more about it, that how do we integrate this uh, into our teaching learning experience, because there is almost a feeling now that teachers are not required anymore with chat gpt around, but I believe that's not the case. You do require teachers around along with this AI tools. I like one thing which Dr. Sheila's quote was there, that we don't learn from experience, but we learn from the reflection on our experience. So that's how we will have all the reflection of his on his experience and how to integrate ChatGPT to our teaching learning skills. With this, I welcome Dr. Schiller once again. Over to you, Dr. Rupali.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for all the inspiring words. So before beginning the session, I would like to introduce our speaker, Dr. Alexander Schiller. Dr. Schiller is a habilitated chemist and works now as trainer, coach, and facilitator in the public and private sector worldwide. Since 2000 year, he developed innovative academic teaching at LMU, Munich, EPF, Lausanne, UC Santa Cruz, USA, and University Zera. In addition, he is a certified facilitator and certified advanced coach and team coach with the Tyagi Group and transfer track coach by Professor Axel Coach. His company Schiller and Martins has trained over 17,000 scientists worldwide in hundreds of seminars, coachings, consultings, and lectures since year 2011. Dr. Schiller is a specialist partner of Simdustry on business simulation. He collaborates with Progress Consulting in Belgium. He has founded in 2020 the community of practice Train Together, and Dr. Schiller is a member in Learning and Development Accelerator, LDA. He is offering the trainer program for scientists becoming trainers. Together with the business training company Simdustry, he is facilitating simulation and board game-based learning for medium and big size companies worldwide. The DFG Heisenberg Fellow, Dr. Schiller was a junior professor in inorganic chemistry from the year 2009 to 2017. Dr. Schiller's experience as researcher and group leader enable him to focus on the real needs of scientists and beyond. Now, Dr. Schiller empowers adults in professional development to solve conflicting issues. He helps participants take what they learn in his training and coachings back to their life. We don't learn from experience, we learn from the reflection on our experience. Learning transfer includes reflecting and changing on knowledge, behavior, and attitude. Dr. Schiller's life also his values to implement, transfer into real life, to interact, playful, to live continuous learning, to respect mindfully, to share with adults and others. With these thoughts, I would like to welcome Dr. Alexander Schiller for the session. Over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot. Ooh, there was a lot of information here in the last minutes. So we're gonna grab some of this. I'm gonna repeat, we don't learn from experience, we only learn from the reflection of our experience. This is a very important point, and we're gonna live through also within the next minutes. So this was this thing what I'm gonna do with you can be called a webinar, but it is by far more because I need your participation. I need also your interaction, because we don't learn from passive listening. We learn actually from going through, making experiences, and then also making it as a reflection. Now the topic is ChatGPT, generative AI. We will probably, well, it is quite a big marketing presentation now for this company. So I want to avoid mentioning too much this name, but let's face it, OpenAI and also ChatGPT is a blast. They have introduced it in November 22 for the first time for the general public, right? It is already well known before. It was already well known before. And now everyone is using. And guess what I was thinking when this came up? No, I am very skeptical. I don't like this. This doesn't make sense. So I was really, really skeptical. And probably you are also still with this. So what John McCarthy said is, when I'm just look it up again to make sure that I'm really, really citing it correctly. As soon as it works, no one calls it AI anymore. So this means that what we are now doing is we are in an experimental phase, right? We are playing, simulating, gaming with that, and doing a lot of exercises and shape it into the situation that no one calls it AI anymore, okay? Very interesting sentence from John McCarthy, a very, very important point in AI, a person. Okay, good. Now let's go and do something. I have a question for you. It's in the chat. There is a link. Please go onto that link, and there is one question on it, several multiple answers. So it's a multiple choice question. Click on the answer which is most appropriate for you. And then only do it once. That is enough. This generates already a moment of silence. People need to read and think what the answer they're gonna give. Okay, good. Probably people are still underway doing that, right? But I can already ask a question. Vinod, can I call you Vinod? Is that okay? Okay, good. Vinod, what do you think? What do you think is the answer most of the people have given?
I think it'll probably be between E and F.
I have forgotten what E and F was. What was it?
Oh, E was to do something with facilitation, and F was supposed to do with tools,
Okay,
if I
good.
recall.
People are curious. That's the reason why they're there. They want to get facilitated also with that. Vinod, was there any possible answer you have read which was kind of astonishing or irritating, or maybe?
Well, the first one was a little full of friction, about to generate friction. And let me tell you, India is very hot now. So in summer, this heat is going to catch fire.
Okay, good, right. So thanks a lot. That was a demonstration of working with this kind of tool. It is an opener into a learning situation, right? I'm going to ask a question, put it into a questionnaire. Okay, in this case it is a digital tool. Okay, I'm going to use like Mentimeter or here Typeform, like that. Send you a link, let everyone think through this. Okay, find her answer to that, and also then finding a participant, asking him or her, what do you think? What is the majority of answers? What has the highest hit? You can talk about it, you can justify it, you can argue about it, right? And also you can ask about more, right? There is also a hidden agenda behind that, right? Because one of the answers I have asked is that I am doing that in a multitasking manner, right? I'm getting such a webinar. This is something which runs in parallel because I have so much to do. I have so many things aligned. And whenever this thing gets boring, I read my newspapers or the PDF along. This could also be an answer people are given, right? Because it mirrors the reality, right? Like that. But the hidden agenda behind this is then telling people, hey, use your time wisely together with such a webinar or with a training or with a teaching session, and focus on that, what's going to happen here, okay? So you can use a questionnaire. You can use a questionnaire not only to collect people's responses, No, you can use a questionnaire to send messages. Now, let's look on the results, and I'm going to share with you here this. And we see, okay, 4 people. Maybe also I have to update that. So I'm going to just go with this again. Look at the results. And then we're going to see a response. Okay, good. Here, yeah, you can see, yes, 4 people are curious. They want to learn about this. And 2 have given also, this runs in a multitasking manner, exactly, right, like this. So what do you think? How do I find these questions, right? I'm going to answer this at the end of this talk, right? Because you can guess already. It is actually with the help of ChatGPT, you can find questions and also answers you can put in such a questionnaire, right? What is the purpose of it? The purpose is not only to find out what people are thinking. The purpose is also to send messages to people. Because here, what's going to happen is that, yes, it's a typical thing in online setting. People are doing something in parallel, right? And also what is also happening is that people are also have certain reasons not to put the video on, okay? So what I'm now doing is I am now asking ChatGPT, and this I'm going to I make live for you as well. So I'm going to share my screen again. Good. And I live design, by the way, here also is I'm asking the question, what can I do? How to convince participants in a live online training or webinar to put their video on, okay? So what you see is what I'm doing with ChatGPT is I'm not asking question, give me the birth date of Gandhi, yeah? So I'm not requesting knowledge from ChatGPT. I am requesting brainstorming results, okay? In this case, how to convince participants in a live online training to put their video on. What comes now is a very, very rapidly generated text. So I'm going to help you. We will not read all the stuff. I just want to demonstrate to you is that this is so dense in information. I am using here, by the way, ChatGPT 4.0. This is the newest and best language model from OpenAI right now. So what you see is now that I am in the design of trainings and teachings. I get now answers. Yes. Set clear expectations, for example. Provide. Recording stopped. Okay, good. Provide agenda sharing and so on, right? Highlight the benefits. So what you see is bring an engagement. Yeah. Let people do a questionnaire, by the way, and reflect about their behavior. Okay. A lot of other stuff actually can be done, right? Create a comfortable environment. Start with an icebreaker, for example, here that encourages to turn their cameras on, right? But also lead by example, okay? However, there are true reasons also that people can, and that is what you also can see here is that people have good reasons not to put their camera on. So we have to be careful. So here I can address a lot of things and can within a second get excellent suggestions to address this topic if I think this is important. Now, this is already the first message I have for you is that ChatGPT is not a program to get knowledge out of it. It is a thing to brainstorm. So it hallucinates and it makes errors. And I have to tell my kids every day, I'm going to encourage them to use it, but I warn them also, whatever ChatGPT generates, use your brain before and after. And we need to tell this also our students. And because people might think that this is all true, what's coming up. Now, what to do if I'm going to look for more research-based, resource-based stuff? Then I strongly recommend to use Perplexity.ai. Perplexity.ai is a language model based also on ChatGPT, but it uses sources from the web. So if I'm gonna now want to replace Google, because Google is nothing else than giving a hit list of things, but I don't want to have hit lists anymore. I want to have questions solved. So what I'm doing is I go to Perplexity.ai and I want to have questions solved. So what do I do? For example, when I don't want to brainstorm because I need resources, what I suggest in this case, go and use Perplexity.ai. So what I have done here is I have asked the question, what can I do to activate my parasympathetic nervous system? Why did I do that? Because a lot of people in our world are activating their sympathetic nervous system. Power, pace, pressure, competition, caffeine. A lot of activation is good also for our body, right? Like that. But if it gets too much, well, it gets out of balance. So I need to learn how to activate my parasympathetic nervous system. And here, then you get wonderful answers. And the cool thing is you can then also get the sources where it was taken from and can check as a scientist, where is the source? Can I rely on that? Can I trust this resource? By the way, activating your parasympathetic nervous system, practice meditation, do yoga, breathing, get out into nature is extremely important. Why? Because we sit too long, too often in front of screens, especially with ChatGPT. We think the machine is solving all our problems. So we need to learn eventually again also to do real life, well, to really live. Okay, so I hope I have rapidly and made clear how important it is. I made it rapidly clear that there's a difference between the large language models and also ChatGPT is a brainstorming tool. So let's use that more and do a little bit of activation in terms of testing. Okay, testing. Let's start because these machines need to be tested, right? Can I trust this? So I have a question to you. Do Australians have a 4th of July? Okay. Vinod is shaking his head. They don't have a 4th of July. Okay, good. So let's ask ChatGPT that question. I'm going to share again the screen with you.
They have it on the calendar, but they don't celebrate it as an Independence Day.
Ah, yeah, okay. You give already a good solution, but let's check what ChatGPT actually is answering to that, right? So if I copy this, do Australians have a 4th of July, right? I just need to, you can see my shared screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. So what's now happening is, let's check and compare it with Vinod's response.
Aha, I think like an AI. That's good. Or is it bad?
So yes, Australians have a 4th of July in the sense that the date that exists on their calendar, just like in any other country, whatever, right? So apparently, the glitch, or also the double-sided element of this answer, right, can be detected by ChatGPT, right? So we call these trick question. That's a simple trick question, like that. But it makes sense to accommodate. I'm going to recommend that to you also, is to play a little bit with these trick questions on these machines. And I'm going to also give you a resource at the end of this, with all the material I'm going to send to you, a resource of trick questions. Does anyone have another trick question ready? They seem to be a little bit childish, you might say, right? But this is okay. Yeah, this is okay. For example, in Sri Lanka, why can't a man marry his widow's sister? Okay, by the way, that has nothing to do with Sri Lanka, but but that is just so. Now you can read also that how carefully also the machine is recognizing what is written here, right? So it contains a logical inconsistency. Okay, so if a man has a widow, it means he is deceased, and therefore a deceased man cannot marry anyone. Okay, so but this is something we need to find out of that. And then also there's some cultural restriction. Yeah, okay, good. That can be also treated like that, but it has nothing to do with Sri Lanka. But what it is a trick question. So now I can ask ChatGPT, can you give me further trick questions to test generative AI? And it is recommended also to write it in a friendly manner. So can you, that's what I have done, can you give me please further? Good. So now ChatGPT is helping you coming up. It's always so fast, so I have to stop this scrolling. Then here you have now other suggestions of trick questions. My goal of this session here is that you are going into ChatGPT, either the free version or the premium version, right? And play with it, yeah, like a child. To really test the machine, to find out what's going to work with that, how it actually then can help us later, right? Here, you can also then ask for more. I'm just using that here as a trigger for you. You will find out that it's really impressive what actually such a apparently stupid computer can now elaborate. Let's go for another one. So trick questions is an easy start with that. Let's go for another activity, which is called true or false. Okay. True or false is something I am regularly using in all my trainings. And it has a very simple appearance, right? But it is a very, very deep, it goes very deep. So what I'm going to do with you is I'm going to ask you to say right into the chat, true or false. The topic is webinars. Yeah. So learning in webinars. What we were doing here right now. Okay. So webinars provide more personalized learning experiences. True or false? If you want, please put your answer into the chat. Yes, I'm always putting it into the wrong. Very good. Thanks a lot. Okay. Can somebody give just raise her hand or share why this is true? Yeah. It gives insightful knowledge. Through knowledge, one can seek wisdom. It's an easier mode of communication. I have another one here is that some webinars allow for personalized interactions through one-on-one Q&A sessions or tailored content. That's what we're going to have later. But we already have exchange here, like this. So now, can it be also false? Oh, yes, it can be also false, right? I have already one here is that webinars often cater to a broad audience, making it challenging to address individual learning needs, right? What I did not do is I did not ask you in the beginning what actually you want to learn, right? I just give you now an offer, right? But I do not know what is really interesting for you, right? So what is now true? Is it true or false? Well, it's both at the same time. What are we doing here is we are doing to get an access to the ambiguity of statements in our life. Our life is not wrong or right. A lot of situations in our life are ambiguous. If I want that my participants, my students, and also my the people who want to learn, right? If I want them that they're gonna develop a tolerance for ambiguity, I need to confront them with such a statement, which can be actually true or false. Now, this is an activity I have learned from Tyagi, and I was puzzled for a long time about that, because I was asking myself, how can I create statements which are true and false at the same time? And before ChatGPT, so before November 22, I really was thinking a long time, and I was asking other people. I was sometimes really desperate, because it is not an easy thing to develop statements which can be seen as wrong or right, or true or false. And guess now what I do with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is creating a list of statements, which can be true or false, within seconds about learning and webinars, and any other topic you would like to have, be it biotechnology, be it chemistry, be it leadership, be it interactive learning, right? So this is so simple. It's so versatile, this tool, that you can use now the ChatGPT as the idea giver for these statements. And then you can for sure also vary them and maybe change them. So how did I find actually these statements? Well, I just prepared, I admit, 60 seconds for this webinar for the true and false stuff, right? So I was going into ChatGPT and just asking the question, give me statements which can be true or false at the same time about topic X. That is the prompt. This is so facilitating. This is making the life so easy for me as an instructional designer to play this game. True and false. Does anyone actually have a topic where you would like to have statements on which can be true or false? Put it into the chat. I'm gonna do the job for you. Eventually, also people are doing it by themselves and playing with it. AI will cut down jobs. Okay, good. Let's take that. Something like this. AI cut down jobs. Good. I'm going to go again live for you. So I'm demonstrating also how to use also ChatGPT live in training, coaching, or in a classroom. So I'm going to use a new prompt here. So give me, please, statements which can be true or false at the same time. By the way, if you don't write at the same time, then maybe you get different responses. So give me please statements which can be true or false at the same time about AI will cut down jobs. Again, this is so much information that I need to control the amount of information and calm down, right? And maybe also read here the first things. So AI will eliminate certain jobs, but create new ones. McKinsey just published a study of telling pretty drastic prognosis that a lot of jobs will be reinvented. There will be a drastic revolution of jobs like that. And let's face it, people who are earning their money with creating brilliant text, I am now a little bit provocative here, will lose their job. The ability of creating brilliant text, right, will not anymore paid with a lot of money. Everyone can now create brilliant text. And sometimes I get emails from students which are so well written that I ask myself, how could they learn how to write such a brilliant email? Well, they have eventually used ChatGPT to create the email. And are you using ChatGPT to create emails? Probably. I am using it also, right? Now, what will happen with this? It's not anymore about the email. It is about my intention. Okay? So let's imagine you get an email where there is a disappointment there. Somebody is, for example, rejecting something. Okay? Let's take a publishing company, and they're going to reject your paper, your publication. How to respond? Okay? Probably what you can think is, you can write a letter by yourself and say, this is my letter, that's me, okay? But what you also can do is, you can use ChatGPT, you copy paste the email and delete all the personal data, by the way, yeah? So that is very important. No personal data, because we don't know what's gonna happen right now with all this information. So no confidential data should be put in prompt, but you can replace this, right? And then ask ChatGPT, please give me a response in the way of keeping the relationship to this publishing company. Because me as a researcher, I would like to maybe later also publish again. Yeah? So what is now shifting is our communication is now shifting into we are more thinking about our intention, and that's what I'm doing by now. And then we can use this. So we can use our intention, put that into the ChatGPT, and then it is creating wonderful text. Try it out, right? And always check. Never copy paste. There are already a lot of very, very stupid errors happening where even publications have been officially published, right, with copy paste from ChatGPT, and it's so embarrassing. So it is so important to really edit the text and to think through this. So use the brain before and after ChatGPT. I want to demonstrate to you also something more, well, because ChatGPT cannot not only work with text. I'm going to give you one example. What ChatGPT can also do is, therefore, I'm going to share again my screen with you. What I'm now doing is I am uploading a picture. I have pictures, a lot of pictures, but I take a complex picture. Okay, and then I ask questions. How can I use this picture now as an instructional designer in a webinar about generative AI? Generative AI. Okay, so you see now what kind of picture I have uploaded. Okay. First of all, I have to stop again. You see, this is a picture, a classical picture of perspectives, right? You see the cylinder, and someone is looking from the left and sees only the circle. Someone from the right sees only the square. Okay, this is a very deep picture, right? It has a lot of messages in there, right? And you can use it for a lot of different purposes. Now here I have given ChatGPT this picture and asked, how can I use this in a generative AI webinar? Okay. Slide title. It gives me the slide title. I am pretty surprised about that. Introduction. Introduce the slide by saying, understanding generative AI requires us to appreciate that it can produce multiple valid outputs based on different inputs, contexts, and perspectives. Then explain the image. Explain what it actually says on the physical side, right? And then also relate this then as a metaphor, right, to, for example, change your perspective. You see, there is so much information given here for me that I actually can talk now for an hour on that. And you see implications, interactive elements. So I can a lot more do with it. I will not go into detail here about this. I just want to demonstrate to you is that it is so amazing that these the LLMs can decode pictures, right? Complex pictures, and can give suggestions in a certain new context of how to use that for learning. Now, that reminds me to tell you a story. My wife, she's a physiotherapist, and she is dealing also with co-workers, right? So they had to, well, they lost a co-worker. Someone resigned, a co-worker resigned, and they had the last talk, okay? And I asked her, prepare this with ChatGPT, right? Don't mention names, but share the case, and then also ask the question, what do I overlook? And my wife came back and said, oh my God, there were so many deep suggestions about that. And one was also that ChatGPT was suggesting, maybe you also need to think about yourself. Maybe also your coworker was not satisfied because of whatever you have done. So it helps us really, really to think from a different perspective. Try it out. You will get so many surprising insights that sometimes you probably will be quite shocked about it. So share the case, whatever you have. Do not mention names, and then write down, what do I overlook? I promise you will get a lot of maybe also shocking elements, because it is so important for us also to look from a different perspective and ChatGPT is able to help us with this. Yes, I could also ask a friend, and I could ask sometimes also a trainer, or you can ask a coach, or you can maybe ask a psychotherapist with that, right? But ChatGPT can that also. Now, this is, I hope I have shared with you the tools of ChatGPT. I have demonstrated to you, and I hope that you are now seeing that as, oh my God, I need to sit down. I need to take this machine and play with it, right? And probably also I need to talk with other people about it, right? That we can help each other and can also give insights how to use that. And there's a lot of problems with this, right? There's a lot of critical points of it. What I have done was just paving the way, to try it out. But let's face it, we are the people who need to also find the boundaries. We need to find also the difficulties. We need to find also out what are the limitations, right? And we also need to find rules to regulate AI. Not only at the university with students, but also on our personal level, on our political level, on our global level, because there is a certain percentage of experts of AI who say that this technology has the capacity to extinguish mankind. This is, I can't really judge this sentence here, right? Because I am a simple user of it, right? But let's take it seriously. And if you now are more interested with that, then also I cordially invite you to go into a learning platform I have generated for you and a lot of other members. So this also will be sent maybe by email to you. Here is that is a link to a learning platform. You can access it via email. So you need to inscribe via email and generate your own password. And then you are in a safe zone in a digital learning course about AI. What I am doing is I am always updating that. I'm always bringing new insights of it, and helping people to play and to find out. With this, I'm going to say the journey has just started. We are just at the beginning. And there's so much to explore that we need to have critical people, but we need to also have people who are willing to go with it. Thanks a lot. I am open now for questions, critical remarks, everything what you have.
Thank you, sir. Now the session is open for the questions. So I request panel members to ask the questions. You may write in question and answer tab.
There's already one in the chat, right?
Yes.
I read it and then.
Yes, sir. Should I read?
I'm thinking, what does that mean? How can we use ChatGPT in a judicious way without relying on it too much?
I have a related question. Can I ask you that?
Yes, I will come back also to that in the chat. Yeah, maybe Vinod, you're now going for that, right?
Okay. The question is, right now, ChatGPT is a wonderful tool. It reduces our level of effort of thinking and putting together, searching, and so on and so forth. Is it making us smarter or the other way around? And I think that is linked to the question that R. Akila is asking. How can you use it judiciously without relying on it too much?
this is really, really very, very good, right? So the point is that we often want to have convergent answers, right? For example, for a judicious situation. So I want to judge about, let's face, I have a professor, and this professor is behaving in a way where I want to be sure, is that right or not right? Like that. So I'm going to share the case. I will not put the name on it. And then I ask ChatGPT, is that correct or not? Is that what this person is doing okay or not? Right? And Vinod, you are absolutely right. Does that actually, are we delegating thinking? Yeah. Are we delegating thinking and judging to a machine and at the end are not able anymore by ourselves doing that? I cannot actually answer that question. It would be, I would be crazy if I really give a concrete answer to that. But what I can say is that ChatGPT helps me to explore more divergent solutions of a situation. And this I really celebrate. This is really, really, I highly welcome. Because normally I have maybe 2 or 3 reasons to think of. I have 2 or 3 ways to think about that. But especially if I try out and ask ChatGPT, what do I overlook? Then I get so many different responses. And that helps me actually to think deeper and more critical. Mr. Mandal, please.
Yeah, Scalar, I think that was a great talk. But my point is with respect to what Dr. Dumlekar and the other person who asked the question, I fundamentally want to be critical on their views. Why should we be concerned about not being dependent on ChatGPT or any other generative AI? I mean, if there is a provision, perhaps this will make our lives easy. Then why don't we use it? And that's how things evolve. I look at it as as a one phase of evolution that we are going through right at this point of time. So could be, half of our brain work is taken over by AI and make us, it makes us free from doing complicated thinking, and we use our brain for thinking something else. I don't know. I mean,
It's a wonderful suggestion. And yes, what ChatGPT will do for us is it will give us free time, okay? Because we will work more efficiently and we get more done. This has been already by several organizations well researched, okay? For example, it makes us 36% more effective and so on. Regardless the numbers, right? If you look at the studies, they show already how effective people are getting and also getting more done. Now, the question is, what do I do with the time I have now free? Am I doing it to work more and more harder, right? Or also, am I using it for relaxation, finding creativity, and so on, right? Like this. So this is a dilemma which already happened in our industrial world, okay, that all the machines which were facilitating our life did not make our life easier because with the free time, we worked harder and more and more. So this is one danger of it, right? But what I have learned also from the experts is that this generative AI influence on our society will never go away anymore. So we need to be masters of it. We need to actually be the people who are working on it and with it, right? Like that. If we are getting actually victims, then it is problematic. Now, there's also another thing. What I have heard is that, I just need to check the chat. Easy life produces weak people. Yeah. Hard times strong. Yeah. Ooh. Where do I see my challenges? Okay, right. It's a good point.
So few questions are in question and answer tab. You can read from there.
From the FAQ?
From Q&A.
Yes, from the Q&A. So AI systems are language models. As they are, from user perspectives, perceived as language tools, do you think that the science of language will reinvented, updated to something that we have never seen before? Yes, we have. I can only give an answer as a naive non-expert on language, right? But what I already see is that that the quality of communication, right? So the way how people communicate is rising. Is it more authentic? Okay, we have to be careful with that, right? But text considered as language is one thing. The ontology of language another. How do you see that role, right? So what actually is the meaning of it, right? I am using ChatGPT actually a lot to help to understand what is the meaning of something. Text is written in a way which has several layers of understanding, right? And it helps me to dive deeper into that. I also would actually give a prognosis is that when the calculator was introduced into schools, the digital calculator, right? People were saying, oh, this makes our kids stupid. They are not able anymore to calculate with their head, right? Yes, nobody is calculating right now or is doing a calculation of 380,000 times 27, right? Nobody is doing that. Everyone is using a digital calculator for that, and nobody's complaining. Probably that will help. That will also happen with language later. That people are able to really create amazing text, which is good, well understood, and we will not complain anymore about that it is done by machines. This is a frightening statement. There's a lot of critique also in there. Plagiarism. Oh my God. Yes. What are we doing with intellectual property, right? Who owns text? This is also a very good point, right? When we write articles, scientific articles, what is plagiarism, right? Where does actually we detect? How do we detect plagiarism, right? These are all new questions. No answer for that. People at the universities worldwide need to think about this. I can only share actually what the DFG, the Deutsche Forschungsgemeinschaft, this is the so-called German Science Foundation. Yeah, it's a very renowned foundation. And what they said is there are right now no rules. Treat that with your ethical rules, but use it. That was the memo from 6 months ago. So there are no rules right now. And people are really using it in science to create publications and to write reviews in a way which is ethically problematic, right? For example, reviewers, put the whole text into ChatGPT and let ChatGPT do a reviewing. I find that pretty problematic because I'm going to upload confidential text, right, of my colleagues into a machine where I don't know what's going to happen with that. And this is helping my lab, helps me to review. But is that really okay? Can I really do that? The last chat, and then I'm going to maybe also give an end to that, is please suggest authentic use of generative AI in research work, right? So Rajhana Sinha, when you are interested with that, right, go on this digital learning platform. I have collected a lot of precious insights, videos, and links to grasp this complex topic of how to use generative AI in research, right? Because we are just starting to generate rules. Right now, only a few exist. You see, this is my last sentence. You see, I hope you're agreeing with me, but I cannot be sure. But I hope that also you see this dramatic challenge what we are having here, right? Also as really as a challenge, right? So as something where we can play with, we can create. We also find limitations, but we're using it for the good. But let's face it, there are dangers, and we need to think deeper about this. Thanks a lot.
So we have covered all the questions.
Vinod, sir.
Alex,
That
I have
was-
a question. You helped me discover with that 4th of July question that I think like an AI. I don't know whether that's a credit or the other way around about me, but I need to find that out. When you came up with those 6 or 8 or 10 trick questions, I found that many of them were actually not productions by the Chat GPT, but reproductions from quizzes and tests that had happened all the way back some 50, 60 years in the past. I encountered one of them some 50 years back, question number 6 about the plane crash. So ChatGPT, I think, is a great advantage on the one side in helping us save time. But you said it right. After you save time, what do you do with the time that you saved? But my real danger is we already have software that corrects our spelling, help us calculate very quickly. Is that making us dull? Is that taking off the fine edge of our thinking as humans? With common commoditized phrases and templates and all that by means of which ChatGPT produces its outputs. Is everything going to be a standardized kind of output where the scope for human error and human difference will gradually die? And this is going to be a trick question for you. Go ahead.
Thanks a lot for this trick question, and there was a lot of messages also in there, right? But let's take that really serious. Is ChatGPT making us dull, right? Numb, dull, and stupid? And the only answer to me is that we can be aware of this danger, and we can change the way how we think with this. That's my only answer to that, because as you said, it is a trick question already. And I don't know what's going to happen. I worry that my kids actually. I'm taking care that they are well educated and they are really independent thinkers at some point, right? So I do everything actually to also help them to critically assess what ChatGPT is doing. But let's face it, we will have a lot of people in the world also who will just believe what this machine says, and that is a big danger.
Thank you.
Is it correct to ask students to generate few questions for their exam?
I think that would help them think better.
Yes, definitely. It's good. Hey, take a topic about, for example, photosynthesis, right? Go in and ask ChatGPT, give me a set of questions I can use in exam. Yeah. Let's imagine I'm a teacher, although I'm a pupil, right? I can use in an exam, and then I am trying to answer them. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, then.
So is there any more questions? Okay, so thank you, Professor Schiller, for that thought-provoking and insightful session on the very interesting generative AI in trend, and we can discuss many more on this topic. And now I would like to extend a gratitude to Professor Schiller for his valuable insights. Now let's invite Dr. Jigyasu Dubey, the coordinator of the Center of Excellence in Simulation and Gaming at Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, for the words of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Rupali. At the outset, we express our sincere gratitude to Dr. Alexander Schiller, consultant trainer from Germany, for accepting our invitation to conduct this 58th webinar of the series Pratiti Becoming Aware. In this session, Dr. Alexander Schiller showcased the transformative impact of technologies like ChatGPT on gamified interactive learning and highlighted their evolution and significance. It's a truly amazing session by Schiller. Thank you very much, sir, for such an enlightening session. We are also thankful to the ISAGA for the collaboration and support in the organization of Pratiti-2024 Becoming Aware webinar series. We express our sincere gratitude to Dr. Upinder, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of our university, Dr. Santosh, the Rector and Dean of SWV, for their continuous guidance and encouragement. Our special thanks to Dr. K. N. Guruprasad, sir, for being with us today. Sincere thanks to today's panelists, Irina, Laura, Vinodji, Rameshji, Mandalji, Dr. Namit Gupta, and all other panelists present, and also the participants who make this webinar successful. I am also thankful to Dr. Rupali Bharti and all the members of Center of Excellence in Simulation and Gaming SWV, as well as team of the IT team of the university for their kind support. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Guess who was that a ChatGPT generated delivery?
No, it was not.
Now,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
exactly.
everyone. Thank you. And stay tuned for more exciting webinars on gaming and simulation in the 2024. Request
Thank
to
you,
all the
Dr. Schiller.
participants to please fill the feedback
Thanks a
form
lot.
as mentioned in the chat box. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sheila.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I have I sent you an email with all the documents, right, like that you can then forward to the participants of this webinar, right?
Okay.
And also with the link to this digital learning platform that they can just go and further play with it, right?
Is Perplexity free or is it a paid platform?
No, you get it for free. You get it for free.
Oh, I already registered. In fact, looking at the topics.
No, this is a
Thanks a lot.
yeah, and you can also write comments about that. There are chat functions on it, and you can give your comments about that. And this is also shared with the other participants. It's an online learning, as asynchronous online learning tool on this topic.
Oh, and what about this flexible facilitation? That too
This
is
is
free.
Yeah, this is a company I am having to get this also.
Is Denmark based, is it?
The company Flexible Facilitation is with me in Germany.
Oh, yeah, because I saw your email profile extension is DE.
Oh yeah,
He would be Josh.
yeah. DE is Germany. Yeah.
D is Germany. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, Josh.
Yeah.
Josh, okay, right.
Very
Great
good.
session, Sheila. Thank you so much.
Have
We will
fun.
share all these documents and your link to all the participants.
Yeah, that will be very nice.
yeah, there are descriptions about how to play with it and so on, and then yeah, I wish you a lot of fun now with several versions of ChatGPT and
And the trick questions.
the triggers.
I would like
That's
to
what
experiment
the
on that.
youngsters have already started doing. You know?
Yeah.
They already started playing with the AI platform.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of them are doing that. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll sign off. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye then. Good eye.
Thank you, Vinodji. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Mandavi, good afternoon.
Ciao, Laura. Ciao.
Oh,
Oh,
bye.
Alex.